Hey guys, this is Mikko from MO Sound Lab, and today I want to talk about how to use real tube amplifiers with MIKKO, the next generation cabinet simulator. Okay, so as always, when you come up with something completely new and fresh, it's really hard to explain what you can do with it, especially with all the versatility that, for example, MIKKO has. So what I really wanted to talk about today is using real tube amplifiers with MIKKO and how much easier your life gets while doing so. So all you really have to do to use your real tube amplifiers with MIKKO is to use a passive DI box like this one. This only costs like $30 or something, depends on where you live, but this is really high quality even though it's just a cheap one. So what you need to do is run two speaker cables instead of one, and run the one speaker cable from your tube amplifier into the input of this DI box and the other one out from the link out, or whatever it's called on your DI box, doesn't have to be this one, and have that going into your cabinet. So just make sure that you're still using the real cabinet as the load for your tube amplifier. But the cool part here is that you get a signal out from your DI box. So this will actually have the tube amp color in the signal because you're using the real speaker cabinets as the load. So if you run this signal from this cable into your audio interface and run that through MIKKO, you can actually play back using MIKKO and your real tube amplifier, and you can track guitars that way, and you don't ever have to go to a live room or anywhere to mic up your real cabinet. You can use MIKKO for that simulation, and it's gonna be 100% realistic and it will sound awesome. Okay, so obviously if you do it that way, you will have a loud cabinet in your room, or if you have the option, you can place the cabinet in a different room and you can do it silently. But obviously it's 2019. The really cool thing you can do with real amplifiers is to use a reactive load like this one. And this is the Fractal Audio one. I highly recommend this one. Also the Suhr one is really good, based on what I've heard at least. And it's the same concept, except you don't have to use a cabinet. So you just plug your amplifier with speaker cable into the reactive load, and you have the XLR out here, which you run into MIKKO, and you don't actually have to use a real cabinet that's gonna be loud in the room. Side note, also, if you're using a load box that is not reactive, you can use the impedance controls of MIKKO to simulate essentially what this reactive load box is doing. You don't really have to choose to use modeling for the amplifier side, and that's also kind of a cool thing that I wanted to get into MIKKO. So now you can use your real tube amplifiers with a DI box or a reactive load that I have here, and you can run that signal into your computer and record your real tube amplifier, and it's gonna be super easy. You don't really have to worry about anything, and it's gonna be a real tube amplifier, and MIKKO is gonna sound 100% realistic. So if you have real tube amplifiers, I highly recommend you give this a shot because I think you're gonna love it. So even if you're just playing back with your real tube amplifier, use the standalone version of MIKKO, and you can use your real tube amplifier and listen through your monitors. And that's all I have for now. Subscribe to my channel and be sure to use your real tube amplifiers and try them out with MIKKO because it's gonna be awesome.